Happy New Year, friends. This is CC, and welcome to Hobby Hands. Yes, friends, to usher in the new year, I would like to invite you on this epic adventure. No, I'm not going sailing, but I would like to share with you this build of this sailing ship, the Airfix model of His Majesty's Endeavour. So, in 1768, the Endeavour, under the command of Lieutenant James Cook, set off on a journey of discovery. In 1769 to 1770, the Endeavour would reach and chart New Zealand and Australia. The Endeavour carried a complement of 94 with a crew of 71. This Airfix model is in a 1 to 120 scale, and the model number is A50047. Let's look at what's inside the box. So the first thing that we see is the instruction manual. So the instruction manual is in black and white, and it's about 8 pages. There's not a lot of steps, but each step contains quite a few parts to be assembled. The last few steps contain the rigging instructions. There's a rigging tool there, and the rigging looks like it's going to take some time to do. It looks quite complex. The last 2 pages contain instructions for the sails and also for painting. Let's look at the bag of goodies. The first thing that we'll see are the sails. They need to be painted and cut out of that sheet. This is the deck. There are not a lot of details, and the plank lines are actually raised. We'll have to figure out how to detail those lines. This is the rigging tool. I've never used one of these before, so I have to teach myself what to do with this one. Okay, this large piece here is 1/2 of the hull, and this is the other half. This sprue here contains the lifeboat, some bulkheads, and that looks like the transom. There's also the anchor and quite a few masts there, and a few figures. At 120 scale, the figures are actually quite small. This second sprue here contains more masts and bulkheads. I can see a steering wheel and some other bits and pieces of the ship. This is the display stand for the model. There's also a collection of loose parts that have fallen off the sprue but remain in the bag. Hopefully there's no missing pieces. These are 2 spools of thread which will be used to make the rigging. One of the threads is 0.3 millimeters, while the other one is 0.6 millimeters. And this is a sticker sheet with the flags. The plank lines on the hull are all raised, as are the details. Okay, so this model is going to be quite a complex build. There's quite a few steps and quite a few parts to be put together. I will have to split the build over several vlogs. In this vlog, I'll probably only be able to complete the hull, which are steps 1 and 2 in the instruction manual. We'll start with the display stand. Next, we'll prepare the 2 halves of the hull. We'll clean the 2 halves of the hull up. We'll do a bit of dry fitting. We'll hold the two halves together with some pegs and masking tape. And we'll start to apply model cement. After the cement has dried, we'll clean up the joint lines with some putty. This model may be top heavy because of the tall masts and all the sails up top. So what I'll do is I'll put some weights in the stand and also at the bottom of the hull with some CA glue to hold the weights in place. So now that the putty has dried, I will sand off the putty with some sanding sticks. Okay, now we'll start preparing for painting. The first thing that we'll do is to mask the ship at the waterline. From what references I could find, the waterline is actually in an off-white color. So not all of the planks will be in the same tone of white. I'll be using different shades of white to show the differences in the plank color. And we shall start by priming the waterline in white. And the priming is done. What I need to do next is to cut out a lot of even lengths of thin masking tape. I will now start painting. As you can see there, I've got a few different shades of white. Most of the waterline will be in this off-white color. I will do a bit of brush painting as the brush strokes will help to give some texture. I'm going to brush two shades of white for now. I will be painting random planks and in the direction of the plank. Like that. For some of the planks I'll actually mix in a bit of brown just to give it a bit of color. What I'm going to do next is to use the cut masking tape from before and apply this onto those painted planks. It's a lot of work, I know, but I really wanted to show the different plank colors. I'm using 2 pieces of masking tape per plank to match the molded size of the plank. Okay, so the first set of masking is now done, so I'm starting to paint the planks in the next 2 shades of white. And after that, I'll do the next set of masking. Okay, I'm happy with the masking. So the next thing we'll do is to paint the rest of the waterline in the off-white that I like to use. And that's what we are doing here. Okay, all done. So the next thing I want to do is to try and show the plank lines. I want the plank lines to be in a very light grey color. I'm going to experiment here. I'm going to use the masking tape to tape up the planks and leave a little gap in between the masking tape for the plank lines. There you go, half of the hull has been masked up now, and that was a lot of work and a lot of masking tape. The gap between the masking tape should be about the thickness of the fingernail. There you go, the waterline has now all been masked up. And it's now time to paint in the grey plank lines. Done. Now it's time to remove the masking tape. There you go. Thoughts on that experiment? I don't quite like it. The lines came up quite even, however they are quite thick and not quite subtle enough. Okay, time to paint the rest of the ship now. So first thing I'll do is to mask the waterline. So after masking the waterline, we'll now prepare to paint the upper part of the hull. The upper part of the hull is going to be painted in a brown color. So as with the waterline before, I'm going to use different shades of brown to show the different tones in the planks. Here I'm applying the first tone of brown. Then when the paint has dried, as with the waterline, we do random masking of the planks. I had to prepare a lot more short lengths of masking tape. And then we'll repeat the process of painting and masking until we get all the different brown tones on. Alright, once I'm happy with all the brown paint, I will mask up that area, and then it's time to paint the remaining colors on the hull. Okay, now all the painting has been done. It's time to remove the masking tape. And there you go, most of the major painting has been completed. And I'll just use a brush to tidy up the painting. I'm also painting in the little blue strip in front of the ship. And now to detail the railings and that sort of thing. So the instructions call for black for this part of the ship, but I'm going to use a very dark brown instead. Black is just a bit too stark for me. Also do remember to paint the inside part of the ship. Some portions of the ship are actually painted in gold, like the emblem or the crest here. I do like these golden decorations. I'm also painting the window frames here in a very dark brown. The glass portions of the window will be detailed with some clear blue later. Next, I paint the metal bits of the ship in this metal black color, like the hinges of the rudder. So to complete the hull, we've got to paint and attach these pieces here. I don't know what they are called, but I believe there are points for attaching the ropes of the ship to. So for the plank lines on the upper part of the hull, I'm going to use a different technique now. I won't use the masking tape and paint like I did on the waterline. It used up a lot of masking tape and the lines didn't come up that nice anyway. Instead, I'm going to use weathering pencils like this. The lines can be made more subtle and fine. Okay, quite happy with the results on the upper part of the hull. Next, I give the whole hull a coating or two of gloss clear varnish. Then I apply some wash to bring out the details on the surface of the ship. So after the wash has dried, we use a cotton bud and some enamel thinner to clean up those lines. Now it's time to weather the ship a bit. The weathering will help to highlight the raised details and hopefully make the plank lines on the waterline portion of the ship a little bit more subtle. I'm using mostly shades of brown for weathering. Okay, time to assemble the last few pieces for the hull. After that, we give the whole hull a coat or two of flat clear varnish. Okay, all done. Those containers at the bottom of the ship are for putting weights. The ship might be top heavy, so the weights will help to prevent the ship from toppling over. We'll do a few close-up shots. Well friends, hope you enjoyed this vlog. This is part 1 of the build for the Endeavour. Please subscribe to my channel. Please give me a like. Give me some comments below. And please share this vlog with your family and friends. Please also give me some hype points. As always, thank you very much for watching. Part 2 will be coming soon. For now, this is CC wishing you a Happy New Year, and we'll see you again soon.